Hey, Stay, how's it going?
Hey Adam, hey everyone. Pretty well. Doing good. I had my wife's parents here to help with the baby for the past week, and last week we went to an Indian restaurant where I had a very good ice cream. Did you ever have kulfi?
How do you spell that?
It's Kulfe. It's kulfi. I'm
I've
not sure if I'm
never,
saying it right. Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
don't think I've tried that.
it's like on a stick, and it's really milky, and it's got like it was from an Indian restaurant, a very good one, Dishum in London. We celebrated an anniversary and we went there.
Oh,
Uh, and yeah, this is I think it's my favorite ice cream. It's on a stick and it has pistachio or caramel or what was the other one? Uh, I'm not sure, but it was it's my favorite one. I think it's called Malai or something like that, but I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
man. Yeah, I'm jealous of all of your good Indian food in the UK.
Yeah, yeah, this one is one of I think it's one of the best. I saw that this guy, there's a show on Netflix, Better Fit Phil, and
Hmm.
he's one of his Phil's friends, and he's bringing them to all sorts of location. I think they were in Mumbai, and the guy from Dishum introduced him to the food scene.
Yeah, I saw that episode. That was a really good one.
Yeah, yeah, it was really nice. Yeah.
It's it's like part of our like evening routine. If we're like having dinner, sometimes we'll like watch a food show while we eat, whether it's Somebody Feed Phil or like Master Chef or something like that. Just or watch some hot ones.
Oh yeah, I love hot ones. Yeah, I love Better Fit Phil. I don't know. I mean, some people, my mom especially, my mom like hates Phil for some reason. I don't know why.
there's a there's like the shows Everybody Loves Raymond, the show that he's on. There's another show that came out. Uh, I think it's called Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself. That's the full name of the show. But I'll have to give a content warning on this episode. But it's the episode is like it seems like it's from like a sitcom point of view, but then like the camera turns and the colors change and it's like the real world look at that, and then it'll like jump back to the sitcom view and it'll jump back to the like the real world view of what's going on. it's
Nice.
it it's a dark but funny show.
Okay, I was just searching for that. I bookmarked. Oh, okay. Ah, right. I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen this, but yeah, since it's a recommendation from you, I'm gonna definitely put it on the list.
Yeah. On I think for us lately, we've been preparing for our trip to Korea that we leave on Sunday for. So we'll be there for 2 weeks in Seoul, and yeah, we've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah, I know you booked it for a long while now. I mean, it was supposed to happen way earlier, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to happen in March of 2020.
Oh God,
So
yeah, we all know what happened then.
yeah, this is our first international trip since before COVID. So we're very excited about it. We've been
Yeah, I
scheduling
bet.
lots of tours and things, and
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's well deserved. I mean, we've been working our asses off for hardcover, so that's good.
Yeah, I think the things I'm looking forward to most, besides just like eating all the things and just wandering around and getting the feel of the culture, is we're going on a mountain folklore hike to like a national park there. So we found a tour guide who runs a Korean history podcast, and so the hike is kind of up to the top of the mountain, and like as you're hiking, he's like telling you folklore stories about like the area and different sites that you're passing by. So it's going to be a neat way to kind of get away from the city and see a little bit of nature while also learning some history.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And are you gonna also go camping, or is it? I mean, is it like a hike?
I think it'll just be a day hike, like um, meet there, go on the hike, or maybe they pick us up from our hotel. I can't remember, but yeah,
Nice.
we'll be sleeping in our bed in the hotel every night.
Well, that's good. I don't want any surprises. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that sounds wild. I mean, the folklore stories must be like uh, at another level. Yeah, that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, um, I'm happy with that one, and of course some like food tours, like going to some night markets, and we went to a really good one in Japan on our honeymoon, where like a guy just like took us through a couple of local markets, and like he had deals with all the different vendors. So he's like, okay, you're gonna try this and this and this. It was like a best of tour.
Nice. That sounds great. Yeah, very. I mean, it sounds like you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm still deciding if I'm going to bring my laptop or not.
Well, yeah, tough choice, but I mean, I'd support like just living at home. We'll be okay. We'll be okay with hardcover. Yeah, especially now that we have like two more people on the team that are yeah, in their initial stages of onboarding. So that's cool. They're two devs, Cole and Luca. So yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully now we'll be able to tackle even more things, and I can get. I mean, I wanted to talk a bit about, you know, we've been talking about open sourcing hardcover, so we're doing like progress in that area, and it's good that um, you know, we've got new members of the team that can help us with that process. Uh,
yeah, that's one of I think we'll get there this year. I feel like most of the limitations at this point are around like making sure we have the licensing in place to like have contributions from the community, but also uh, just like making it a good experience for someone who wants to develop on it. Right now, a lot of the like the bootstrapping of the code, we're pulling down like a copy of the staging database, and we'll need to change up how people load the app locally for this. So yeah, there's still some work to be done to get it to the point where someone could just like run it. And even then you're going to be running it without like all the data that we have in our database. So it's not going to have every book, it's not going to have everything. So it's a it's less something that you could take and go host on your own and have it make sense. You could host it on your own, but then you'd have to add every book you read. You'd have to do a lot of things manually. So it's more open sourcing it so that those contributions can come back to the main branch that's hardcover.app, if that makes sense.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. So it's like basically the part that's facing people. You know, when you go on hardcover, it's all that code. It's exciting because we're taking steps. I haven't seen. I mean, is there any like open source book app? I mean, this is why it's like mainly exciting for me. I haven't like seen anyone do this with a book app. Not
I
any
think
of our competitors that I know of.
I think Bookworm's kind of the only one that really jumps to mind since they're like federated using ActivityPub.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think they kind of have to be open source, right?
Yeah.
To function.
Yeah, they have a neat license actually. Their license is you can't make money off of this license, but anything else you can do.
Okay, that's a good license. Yeah, I'm wondering what types of licenses are like most popular with open source. But I'm also glad that we're talking about this and taking steps. And the end of the year is a really good deadline. If we could actually make that, that would be like amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, focusing on new features, which is what the episode today will be about.
Yeah. Yeah, do we want to jump in and talk about some list updates?
Yeah, of course. So right now we're working on a new list page, which will put like way more sense into how we display books throughout the app, and it will also allow you to make to have better control over lists. And I can we can start maybe by going through the designs again. And what do you think? Do you maybe
Yeah,
want to go through the code as well, or should we do that now?
um, yeah, maybe we could look at the Figma first if you want to open that up, and then jump from that to kind of the current state of it locally on my dev setup.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, let me jump over here. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where we left off last week. We've made the table view for this list and added some key things like being able to search through the list. This is a quick search, so you'd be able to search for any term. And we've added this nifty reader view, so you'd see the graph of the readers. Let's put one here as well that the book had, and this would be like the maximum, and it would be like relative to the book. So this book had 123 readers like at some point, but now it's like a bit down. You could add columns, and one of the things that's been requested feature, bulk editing, which will allow you to bulk edit any list. So you could do stuff like, where is that? Change the status of your books in bulk, change the rating, add tags, remove tags, or mark books as own. And yeah, this would make hopefully things like a lot easier when you're dealing with large lists or your library.
Yeah, I've been reading Invincible the comic, and I was realizing like if I read like 8 issues in a day and I wanted to like mark them all, like doing that now means like
Mm.
going to the series page, clicking on the book button, like clicking the rating, or maybe setting it to currently reading, then setting it to read, and then changing the rating, and then doing that for each one. And so being able to like maybe select the first one I want to select, hold shift and select the last one and have it select all the ones in between. And then opening up the drop down and then just say like red 4 stars or something, and then boom. that would
Yeah,
that would be very helpful for those situations.
yeah, yeah. That would be amazing. I mean, there's lots of cases where you have to manage big lists, right? Uh, and yeah, this would be
Yeah.
very helpful. I was thinking for that. I mean, we have the bulk edit. Do you think, as you were saying, I was thinking that when you do that, when you select a book and press shift and select another book and it selects all the books in between, uh, would it make sense to like highlight the bulk edit when you select books, or should we make this check mark appear when you tap the bulk edit button?
So yeah, as I was working on this, I was noticing that this like where that bulk edit drop down is might we might want to change where that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and well, I think it's good to still have the bulk edit view there, so that like you're kind of going into the bulk edit view in some way, the same way you would go into like table view or card view or shelf view. But then
Okay.
but then like the drop down that has the options, um, I hadn't figured out a good place for it yet. But um, I could show you. Actually, maybe I could show you what I have now, just to um, jump into that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let me stop sharing and we can jump in dev mode. Everyone
Okay.
can see how the development process goes from design to dev back and forth. So this is how we're doing things usually.
Share screen. Okay. So um, for one, like this page, I initially set it up in December, so it was kind of before some of our current iterations, and I haven't been like focusing on the exact like pixel perfect version yet. Mostly just getting the high level concepts on here.
Yeah, this is good.
So for one, like there's this background, and I was playing with the idea of this like kind of rounded uh, gradient box on the top as kind of like a cutout for it. That way it always has some opacity, and then at smaller screens, it would kind of like fade away a bit.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's not. I mean, I like that idea. I don't know if I'd like maybe just tweak the positioning. But in terms of like the background, yeah, that could work. I'm wondering if we can also like make the header without any opacity, like we have on the book page right now. Um, Let me go on hardcover to any book, and uh,
Mm.
yeah. So when you go on the book, yeah, exactly. Uh, would that would that work?
Yeah, we could. I mean, that would just mean like moving this probably down to here so that we're not having text show up on top of it. I think it
Oh
works
yeah,
good
exactly.
for here because like a cover and this part show on top of it, but that's not like
Hmm.
text. But for here, I wouldn't want any of this text to show up any higher than like right here.
Yeah, that works. I mean, we can tweak it. On the book page, does it actually have a negative margin so it pushes the uh, cover image underneath the header?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's what we were doing. Okay, just checking.
Yeah, this one also has a negative margin. And this one actually does show up underneath here usually. I think maybe I've like scrolled a bit or something, but yeah, so this header wouldn't it would show up kind of like this with the header, like with the clear header, but I think there's a we have a part in the code that says like on certain pages use a clear version of the header that doesn't have this dark background. And
Yeah, I
so
was suspecting that was the case. Uh
yeah,
huh.
we just
Yeah,
have
it
it
might
hard
look
coded.
cleaner. Yeah, it kind of looks like it has a ceiling over there with that header. So I think just like removing that opacity would make it work.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I think I've been kind of adding most of the things that are in the mockup in some way. Um, like ability to like little options for the owner. Actually, this probably won't even be owner stuff. It'll probably just be general controls for the book or for the list. So like
Mm-hmm.
another one would be like report this list or maybe copy this list eventually if you wanted to like make a copy of someone else's list to your profile. You could put those
Mm-hmm.
things up here.
Yeah, I think we also have share, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's just another button. So those would be like share, edit, pin, duplicate, and report.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, I was playing with like where to add this like where you add the status of the list or the privacy. I initially had it
Mm-hmm.
like down here, but it seemed to make sense up here because this is like describing the list, and these are like um, it seemed like a different contextual thing, so it made sense to have this up here, especially since if the list is public, this is not going to even show up.
Yeah, that's like yeah, that's really good placement from both like a spatial point of view and the context. It sits well. I would have done the same. You know, any empty space in design, boom, throw something at it.
Yeah, and I uh, haven't redone this component, but I know that in our designs there's like a new version of this. But yeah,
Oh yeah, we can spend time on styling. Once we have that should go like really really easily.
yeah, that'll be the easy part for sure.
Yeah.
But the hard part is anything from here down is kind of the what we're calling like the letter books, which is letterboxed inspired books. And I think that the one thing I've changed from the prototype is I made it so it showed the current one you're on in a different color and with the text of it. So if you switch to table view, it shows the view you're on like that.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I was gonna ask because I saw it when you shared it in the Discord. If maybe we can make it so that when you hover, it like animates each one, so you know you don't have to click through them. Maybe you just like hover over them. But yeah, this works. Just as.
It's funny you mentioned that because I actually did something where when you hover over it, like it would say card view and it would like transition the width. But the problem was like if you were on this one and you covered over this one, like getting bigger would like potentially change the point of your mouse, and so your mouse might now move like outside of the.
Okay,
thing.
gotcha. Okay, yeah.
But it's
that's a tough one. Yeah, I think maybe this is better. Let's just leave it at that.
And tooltip still works.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, and on mobile you're not gonna be able to hover, so same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of basic shelf view, and then we can decide like what breakpoints we want to set for like number of books at different breakpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now it's just like large has 8 and everything else has 4, but we could probably do like an intermediate for like iPad width of like something in between.
Yeah, we can tweak that. I mean, we can go 864.
Yeah, but it looks really good on mobile. Like this is shelf view on mobile, and you know, assuming the header was clear, also like that's getting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is gonna be really really nice. And it looks like a lot like how how Letterbox displays movies.
Yeah, and these still have like full controls.
Nice. Yeah, this is great.
I think the thing I've been working on mostly lately is kind of this like sorting option. And the idea is that depending on where you're looking at a list, there are going to be different sorting options. So like right now you're looking at a list, but if you're looking at your books by status, like your books that you've read, it's not going to have a list number. If you're looking at a prompt has like number of people who upvoted it, and then maybe like prompt rank, and those will only show up if you're looking at a prompt. But some of these, like book title, book popularity, these will be shared by just about everyone.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the fact that they change depending on where you see the list makes a lot of sense, and it's really nice that it's using the same component. And you made match percentage work, so I was waiting for for that to happen. That's huge.
that ended up being like some very tricky SQL code because it's really optimized, so it runs really fast now, because that's been one of the problems, is that our current like recommendation engine is getting to like the hundreds of millions of rows in that table. And so this is making it run a little faster. And yeah, this is something that I was going to ask you about. Depending on if you're sorting or filtering, there may be something where we filter the books that are shown. So for instance, if you filtered by books released since 2020, for instance, we would show some kind of message that says, according to all of your sorting and filtering criteria that you've given us, now there are only 22 books that meet those criteria to show. And yeah, I was curious if you had any thoughts on like how to show this, or if this works.
I think it works. Yeah, we can just leave it there. If we get any other ideas, we can just like style it. But yeah, for now, I mean, it's right underneath where you're filtering or where you're doing the action. So if you see something that's corresponding to what you've been doing, that's a good place for it. We can tweak the positioning. The styling is okay. I mean, you wouldn't want more emphasis on that. Or like if anyone asks why is it showing 22 out of 100 books, they can just change the sorting or the filtering and it becomes obvious how that changes. So I think it's clear enough.
Cool. Yeah, I was realizing when I filtered by like my rating, and then it was showing 68 out of 100 books because I've only rated 68 out of 100 of these books.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask. So it only shows the books you actually rate. That's a good like way of seeing which books you've actually rated because you can see the others you've not rated, or you can filter. Actually, I guess if you filter by your rating, it would only show books with the rating. I'm wondering if we can like filter so it shows books without something like a rating or a review, but we can talk about that when we get to filters.
Oh yeah.
I just realized like it would be a good way when you're in your library or on a list to see what books you've missed when you were rating or reviewing. I guess that's it basically, or maybe list without a reason why they were added on that list.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could see those all as filters that someone could do. Ari in the chat mentioned like based on your filter, so I just was adding that to try it out.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that would make it even more clear. So
Yeah. And
yeah, it looks good.
one of the things that we have, one of the things with search in general is like there's two directions for search. And so I was originally like, if you remember like our current one lists, let me open up the same list on production here. So we have this sort by option, and then you can sort like Z to A or A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to reproduce like sorting both ways, what I had tried to do is like you click on title and it sorts it A to Z, and then either you click it again to reverse the sort, or we could make like some other way, but this seems like the easiest. And then it has like this little like this is going to change like when you hover over it, it's like change it from Z to A to that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's smart. I mean, I like it. Uh, it's better than having a toggle in there.
And I think
Just
most people are just
tapping
going
it.
to
Yeah.
do it the first time. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
it's more common to filter by or sort by most popular books rather than like least popular books.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
Does it apply it when you change it to all of the like orders? So if you're like Z to A on something and you switch on popularity and you switch to length, uh, does it save what you've previously had, or does it go back to A to Z?
um, it saves it in that if you hit the back button, it'll go to the previous state.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
every one of these
Yeah,
is a unique URL. So like anytime I've sorted by match percentage, if I just like refresh this
list.
page or shared it,
Yeah,
bookmarked it, it would go back to the exact same sorting options.
yeah, that's great. I mean, if you want to like show someone a list ordered or filtered by your options already, so they'd see what you're seeing as well. You just like copy the URL and they would paste it, and it would be the same on their end. So
Yeah.
that's very good.
And I haven't really started table view yet. These are just placeholder data. Same with bulk edit
Well,
view. I haven't started that yet.
yeah, well, it's a table. It's looking
Yep.
like a table.
Same with pagination. That'll probably be one of the next things. But I was gonna
Yeah.
ask about that one. Like, for our current one, we kind of do
Hmm.
standard pagination. We could do something similar to this, or we could just do like infinite scroll, where it just kind of like loads more books as you scroll. But then
Hmm.
I think combined with having good list options, that could work. But it does make it so that it's no longer shareable on a URL level. Because if
Hmm.
you like infinite scroll to page 8 and you're seeing
Yeah.
books, 700 to 800, and you share that URL, it's still just going to show someone 0 to 100.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think infinite scroll. Actually, let me ask you, apart from that downside, is there any other downside to infinite scrolling?
Um, Not that I can think of, like from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
I think it's like we have like an array of books. It's whether we put them on top of each other or replace it.
Okay. Yeah. Um, I mean, it's good, but uh, I think what would be better would be if we kept it the way it is. But I'm thinking maybe, how every pagination can toggle how many books you see per page. I'm
Mm,
wondering if we should add that in. It kind of feels like, at least in table view, that could work, on car view and shelf view. If we're able to like do it differently, it would make sense because those are a bit more interactive. But I feel like for table view, if it's like infinitely load something, it's kind of like an interaction that I'd associate with stuff like the feed, or how should I say, some less technical and more entertainment related UI components. The table kind of feels like it's very technical, so you wouldn't. I, there's something weird about that interaction. Can't really like put my
yeah,
finger on it,
it's
but I
it's
don't know. Do you feel?
yeah, it's kind of like if you were working in a spreadsheet, like you wouldn't expect to go to the next page. You would just want the spreadsheet to continue loading as long as you were scrolling.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, so maybe, yeah, maybe we could just, well, one other option is that we infinite scroll it, but as we load more, like as we load page 2, we actually change the URL. And so if someone shared that URL, they wouldn't see books 1 through 200. They would see books 101 through 200. So it's like the URL is changing to be the most recently fetched set of books. But you're like if you've started on the page, you're seeing everything.
yeah. I mean, if you'd share it from this point of view, I wouldn't like if it would load fast enough, even if it loads from the top. I wouldn't see a problem, sharing it and someone just uh, going there. Let's say you're viewing like it loads 25 books at a time, and you're viewing book 100, and you'd have to wait for three consecutive like loading stages to get to that. If it was fast enough, you'd just go da, 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 and both people would see the same thing. Uh, but the
Yeah.
question is, would it load that fast on like a normal connection to not be, annoying?
I think it would load pretty fast. Yeah, I don't think it would be annoying on the loading side, regardless of which one we do. I think the the tricky part would be like if we wanted to load books 0 to 300 at one time, or like if someone's on page like 100 and we're loading books 0 to 10,000, that's when it starts to get a little hairy. I,
Yeah.
this is how I ended up doing on the trending page, where like you get to the bottom and it's just like next, and then it's the next 25.
Yeah.
It's kind of the most basic version of pagination.
Well, the best pagination, previous, next. What's simpler than that?
Yeah.
Just go either back or forth. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. Maybe, yeah, either. I feel like it would get hairy and it would be a bit unclear if you'd share something and, uh, the other person would just see like a selection and you would see
Yeah.
like the whole. That's what my worry is. But then again, um, would they also be able, if they go up, let's say it's an ordered list, they go up with things loads on top, or they would just load at the bottom, right?
I have a feeling we probably would have to do something similar to the feed, where like when you navigate away from the feed and go back, we have this like load previous
Hmm.
button.
Yeah.
We'd probably have to do something like that if you link to page 3.
Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. Then again, why would you feel like a pagination would be out of place here? Just trying to see, which option would be better. Does it feel bulky or?
Mostly, I'm thinking it's just an extra click. Like if someone shared a list with me and I was just wanting to go and browse it,
Mhm.
um, I might just like look at it until I've reached the bottom of the list, and then I'd say, okay, I'm done looking at this list. So I wouldn't even ideally I wouldn't even think about pagination
Okay,
like as a
then
user.
yeah, let's do infinite scrolling. I guess that would be like from you're not what you described is I think the most usual use case. You just want someone shares a list, you just want to quickly look at it. The pagination would be when you are like really into organizing things and you want to organize uh huge lists that maybe I mean lists that you own or like huge
Yeah,
lists
like your
that
read
someone
books
else.
list,
Yeah.
your want to read list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the ones where, yeah, it's like how often are you going to link someone else to page 2 of your want to read list? It's like,
Yeah. uh, yeah, we can just do infinite scrolling because that's like the most, I guess, like useful, most usual use case for this. I'm wondering, and yeah, this might be wrong, but if we hit bulk edit to switch to pagination, would that work? Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense, right?
I think it would work normally with the infinite scroll in bulk edit
Yeah,
mode, because that way if like you've selected entries, 98, 99, and 100, and then you want to select 101, you would have to go to bulk edit, make your bulk edit change, then go to the next page, and then
yeah.
select 101, then go to the bulk edit menu and do it again.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. So you wouldn't be able to jump pages, just like shift, select a book on a page, then go to another page, shift select, and it would select books on both pages, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
then definitely let's stick to infinite scrolling. I mean, more than one reason. So yeah, let's just do that.
yeah, and I think like for I think as long as we have good sort options and good filtering options, that kind of helps solve a lot of it. Like I feel like a lot of
Yeah,
the reason why I might today go to page like 4 of this list is because I um, want to see the end of it, as opposed to here where I could just like sort and see the end of it.
yeah. Here we go. Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. One UI thing that we could do here is instead of the loading spinner, maybe we could show a skeleton of posts loading. I think
Mm-hmm.
that'd be better than just like that spinner, because I don't know, it feels slightly better. It feels like we're loading stuff faster.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I like that. It could probably make a separate skeleton for each of you.
Yeah, yeah, that'll work. We have the skeleton component, so it would just like cover stuff, maybe with lower reading opacity, so we would just see stuff like boom, boom, and then
Yeah,
the actual like stuff would appear.
yeah.
Cool, great. You want to work
Um,
on the card view next? I think that's like, or what other questions like
um, I
you?
think that covers most of the things I had. I think the only other one that was on my mind was this page is very wide right now for shelf view and card view. And then for table view, I feel like we need a lot of width because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be really big. Um, so I was playing with the idea of what if different views have different size for like this wrapper area.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, all of this would be kind of down here. And then if
Yeah.
you switch to card view, then it gets wide like this. But what do you think?
Well, that makes. I was saying in the Discord that the only thing that would be weird. So you're in shelf view. You see like this narrow container. Everything's like nice and compact, and then you jump to table view and it expands and everything moves out of place for the header. So that shift uh, might be a bit visually disturbing.
Hmm.
Also thinking, that it's a big shift. So uh, yeah, that looks great. So my question was, could we maybe like animate it so that it has like a nice transition? I'm not sure how that would work, but I'm thinking, either with CSS or maybe with Framer Motion, we can uh, make it so that it transitions from an SM to, or whatever it is right now, MD or whatever, to like the larger container. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Hmm. I mean, there's also just like um, transition all, and then we just like change the size, and then
would that work? I,
let me.
in Yeah, yeah.
Let
There's also
me
like the transition. Yeah, you can just like transition all, but and yeah, I'm curious if it actually moves like the way you'd like resize the browser window. So just like
mm,
you'd make it more responsive, just to like not have that shift layout shift, because it could be. I mean, normally I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it might be like pretty. Oh, here we go. Did it actually do it?
um, yeah. Let me try doing this again. Like, what is the? It was really fast. There's like transition duration.
Duration, yeah, it can be 300, and you can like put ease in out to make it
Yeah. Let me try duration 300, and then
that might
timing
actually
function
be.
ease in out.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's just like ease slash
So there's
dash in
so
dash
here's getting
out.
smaller,
Oh,
and
here you
there's
go.
getting larger.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
that could work.
that works.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I could
yeah.
play with that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, usually for I've tried some transitions on some buttons, but sometimes it's better to just like swap everything instantly than have an animation on it. But this feels like a big like shift, and it's kind of cool that it animates. So I don't know. If just like play with it. If you find it annoying, maybe we can like rethink it. But this would be like a good solution to shift the layout from table to shelf to card view.
Yeah. And I have a feeling on other pages like here, we won't need that here because, this part right here below this tab, that's all going to be letter books. So like
Hmm.
it might start off this wide when you're in card and shelf view, and then when you go to table view, it might just like make it a little wider out to here. But
Yeah, that works. I mean, that's a good like solution to our problem is that sometimes we have UI that fills the screen and there's too much UI, and sometimes we have so little UI that uh, you know it makes sense to have it narrow in the same place. And people have been telling us, oh, you could add stuff to the right and to the left because it feels empty, but it has to. I mean, those decisions are harder than they look, because it's not when you throw something in there, there's gonna be a bunch of happy people that they see that, but there's also gonna be a bunch of people who hate that. So we really have to be careful what we add, and that it has like a clear purpose. Um,
yeah,
but that looks good. And also for the tables, I was wondering if you're on a table and let's say you add like 10 more columns, how would it act? I know Airtable does this cool thing where the first column is fixed and then everything just scrolls underneath. So you have that first column that's fixed in place, and
yeah,
then yeah, I'm wondering if we could do that, so we'd have like the title, the number, just like you have it uh, here, I guess. Maybe, yeah, styled differently.
maybe we can make something where it's like you have a little button and it like locks that column or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could, yeah,
That way, like,
because I
because
wouldn't.
yeah, go ahead.
The thing is, I wouldn't like have it like edge to edge. I wouldn't allow like scrolling all the way. It feels like it should be like lined to the left, especially now that we have the wider container. And yeah, just keep it in bounds.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, over here it's way too narrow, but
yeah,
I just realized that's when
yeah.
it's
It
a
is.
good thing that we're changing it.
Yeah, especially since like this is showing genres. Like, it doesn't really need to show genres. Same
Yeah,
with like if I change this to just have that.
yeah,
Yeah. Cool. But yeah. Um, yeah. This is going to be so much cleaner.
yeah, and way easier to use.
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
wondering now that you're showing the covers, we've ditched like the size controls, uh, and we're gonna leave them ditched. So this is like the default size,
Yeah.
I guess. Mm-hmm. I think that's
Yeah.
good. I just I had the instinct to ask if it's worth like putting another like slider to for the shelf view, but I think it's good to just leave it like this for now. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
because we
so.
get a lot of feedback saying people want to see bigger covers, but yeah, or,
Yeah. There's one thing here that um, I was going to ask you about, and this is more of a um, I guess just a question of like what we want to do here. But let me do this here. Let me just put a setting in here and then see it. So these are all uniform cover sizes. So we're resizing every cover regardless of how big it actually is to be the same size. But these are the actual sizes of the covers. Some of them are, you'll see, like this is using the same height for all of them with the parent container.
mm-hmm.
But some of these are going to be square. Like this one is more of a square cover.
Mm-hmm.
So one option is that we keep them exactly the way they are, which is I think what I'm leaning towards.
Mm-hmm.
Like we keep it like this, and if covers are square like that one, they just kind of get slightly resized.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks better when looking at them in bulk. And then if you wanted to actually go to this one, that's when it would show the
Yeah.
cover proportions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say let's do that because in any case, the cover for the main book in this case shouldn't be an audiobook. It should be, I'm assuming that's why it has the square cover. It should be like the paperback or hardcover. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd be down to keeping them uniform.
And this is very satisfying too.
Yeah, exactly. For that particular reason as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep them like that for now.
Cool. Cool. And someone asked in the chat about our recommendation engine that we're using for things like this match percentage. And we're using kind of a really basic collective filtering technique in Ruby. It pretty much like generates this graph of everyone who's ever rated a book, and then it looks at all of your ratings and their ratings to figure out what we would guess your rating would be on any book that you haven't read. And one of kind of the issues with that setup right now is that means that we're storing everyone's predicted rating in our database for every book. So you can probably imagine that table is very, very big. And so this is one reason why I think for this, one thing I'm thinking about is what if we make match percentage as a whole feature a supporter feature?
That would sit. I mean, it takes like a lot of resources on our end, and I mean, when we first did the match percentage, the idea was let's see if it actually offers good recommendations because that's one of our goals to. I mean, predict the way you'd like a book. I think uh, right now, we're at the point where we've had a lot of feedback of like how it works in real life. So yeah, I mean, definitely. I was gonna ask. I mean, we know it works because we've heard from people that it works from books that have a high match percentage. But what about books that have a low match percentage? Uh, I'm curious if it's like if you read a book that we said has a low match percentage, did you hate it or were we wrong? Because we asked the question, is our match percentage, actually useful? Do you have like a 98 score on something, you read it and you're like, oh crap, okay, this is, I wouldn't have read this, but it was a good match percentage and this is why I read it, and uh, that's it was right. We had those cases. People told us that readers on Hardcover said that they found books like that. I'm wondering at the other end if we haven't like have had any kind of data, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's a tricky one because right now, as soon as you've read a book and rated it, we can't generate a match score for you because we know your score on it. So we'd have to figure out how to like we could probably do something where we like exclude the current user's ratings and then generate match scores for every book that they've rated and then compare that score with their actual scores, their actual ratings. And we could say like these are the books that you like more than average, and these are the books that you like um, less than average. We do something like that on um, the stats page. I think it's like the um, books you like more than other people, like books you rated higher than average and lower than average. Which I need to reread Pandora Star. That shouldn't be a one. Um, but yeah, this is just your rating versus the average rating. But we could do something similar to this with your rating versus our predicted rating. But
Yeah, that sounds good. And it was like initially we thought of it as a feature for supporters, uh, and we could use this opportunity to also redefine, what you're getting as a supporter, because I feel that's we've been adding more things for supporters, and shout out to supporters. You've been really like helping us develop this whole thing. Right now we're like recovering like half of our costs, from supporters, right, Adam?
yeah,
Last time I checked, that was, yeah, nearly half. So we're like nearly half there because of supporters. So yeah, maybe this is a good timing to like remind people that you know you're getting a lot of things through the supporter plan and making it like even more clear. Of course, it's also support for us, but I think we're at the point where you're actually getting like a lot of things you're not getting on other networks. So
and
uh
I don't think
yeah,
I see any other features except maybe like copy list or something like that
yeah, the
being
copy list,
supporter.
yeah. And the cover. I mean,
Mm,
the cover
this
image.
background.
Yeah, exactly. I'd see like authors or book bloggers or uh, just like people who want to customize their lists. Want to change that, and that could definitely be a supporter feature.
Yeah,
What do you think?
and maybe like what we could do is we allow people to select from like a drop down of covers, and those are like um here's our default fantasy cover, here's our default sci-fi cover, here's our default romance cover. But if you want to upload a new one, then that's a supporter feature.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. I think we kind of either had that or we're planning to have that in the Figma. But yeah, I can update it. That's gonna be
Yeah.
really
Oh yeah.
nice to design.
You already have it. Let me here.
Okay, yeah, there was our gallery. Maybe yeah, I wanted to design our gallery as well.
It's like
So
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the default view. I forgot about that. Here we go.
Yeah, default view.
Yeah, the editing is gonna be like very nice as well on the list itself. Uh, I'm yeah very excited for like having this live.
Yeah. I think once I get to a place where I have like filtering working, then I'll probably jump over to this edit page. But
Mm-hmm.
luckily, the edit
Yeah,
page is only going to be for lists. We don't have an edit page for any of the other places we have lists of books.
yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Maria. Maria says that's looking way cool. Yeah, doing our best, doing our best. And I was also gonna say that maybe until next time we can try out on Discord a few options for the card view, since we're out of time now. But that's gonna be a really nice view to design. My only observation was that right now the card view is kind of like a table, so it has like that row. I wanted to try and make it, like we had it in the original designs, like an actual card, but have it work way better than that. So maybe we can chat about what to put in there, and after we figure out like the basic level of info, we can hit Discord and ask everyone what they think, if they add something in there, if like they like how they be displayed. So maybe uh, we can do that the following days until you leave to South Korea.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think one of the ideas for the card view is like, yeah, it's like rounded corners. It's like a little darker than the rest of the page, so it like stands out. That something like that. I'd be
Mm-hmm.
down to try that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. And maybe, I mean, I'm not sure if I liked that the background, that we were doing, that sourced the color from the cover.
Mm,
We still have that in place? I mean, the code.
it's still an option. Like I think we have it. Like I think that's still part of our card view when you go to. Um,
The size, right?
yeah. So just to this is like when you go to card view. Oops, I'm local. It's like when you go to like a large size here. Yeah, it's like this
Yeah,
background
this one.
color.
Yeah, maybe we can re-engineer this one because yeah, it's looking a little weird right now. And should the info? I mean, do you think the info on here is like a good level of info to include?
um, I it, that's such a hard one. I feel like I haven't figured out. I haven't cracked this. Like I think like I feel like this card for trending works really well for trending books. Like in that
Mm-hmm.
specific context, when you're looking for trending books, this is kind of the information you want to see. But when you're looking at a card view of a list, the information you might want to see in the card could be different. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a good answer for that yet.
Okay, that's useful because over here we have the details about the book, which are definitely useful. We have the genres and we have the tags. I mean, they're all like important. So maybe I'll start from this. If anyone watching has any opinions on, if you've ever been to a list in card view on the medium size and saw this, if you'd see stuff in there or out of that card, uh, definitely, shout out. Maria saying that you don't want description for the card view. Yeah, maybe it works. That's like good feedback. I could design one without. Yeah, okay, I get why.
Yeah, especially
That's
since
a large.
like that was before we added this like more info
Uh-huh.
thing, which shows.
Oh yeah, right. That's why it got left there. Yeah, you can just click on the book and yeah, read the description. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see this kind of feedback, very very helpful. So I can design it without that description, and yeah,
Yeah,
then we can check Discord and get feedback.
yeah, and I'm designing it on the code side where each um like context can have its own card view. So we can have a card view for prompts, a card view for lists, a card view for um, goals, and each one of those can show different data.
So we have the card view, and yeah, maybe we can. We're talking about that list. Maybe we can design it for every type of card, and then check the designs and get feedback on them.
Yeah,
I feel like the card view for books is like the most important, and then we can derive all of the others.
yeah. I
But
was
yeah.
I was noticing that when I was starting on books by status. So like your want to read list. When you're looking at that, you might want additional data for like when you added it to that list, or potentially in the future, like notes on why you added it to your want to read list. But then when you're looking at your read books list, you might want to see when you read the book in the card. So it's like all those little tweaks based on where the card is.
Yeah. I should have made a note of that. I'm hoping you're gonna remember
Oh
for
yeah.
when I'm gonna ask you on Discord. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what we're gonna do next. Sounds great. Yeah, it's so nice designing at this stage. You know, when we were first designing this, we didn't know what to design, so we just like did whatever we thought was uh, was good. But now, you know, I think both for someone in design and someone in dev working with stuff that's already there and just like shifting it according to what we found out from the people that are using hardcover. That I mean, it feels good to be at this stage.
Yeah. It's yeah, it does feel really good. It's kind of that iterative stage where we're able to just have fun and make it better rather than invent it from scratch.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I think we're at overtime
Yeah,
even. Well, maybe we can wrap it at that.
yeah. I think that's a good stopping point. And
Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I will be out of town for the next 2 weeks. So the next one we can meet up on the 17th and yeah, continue on then.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks everybody who joined in. We're very glad for the feedback and the presence. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks, I guess.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye. Have a good one, everyone. See ya.